department is gearing up for the second phase this month as Malacanang expanded the program's coverage from 18 to 23 million beneficiaries. Let's find out more from DSWD Spokesperson Irene Dumlao. Ms. Dumlao, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. Out of the 18 million families, only 12.5 million families have received their cash assistance. Bakit po ang bagal ng distribution?
Well, Sir Rico, first, we would like to greet you. Good evening, and thank you for inviting DSWD. With respect to your question, first, we are very grateful to the local government units for helping the DSWD in distributing the aid to the 18 million families who are identified for the SAP. We recognize the efforts of the local government units. However, we also recognize that there are challenges that are being encountered by our partners on the ground. What we can assure the public is, even with these challenges, the DSWD is closely coordinating with the local government units. And we are also providing and extending our assistance so we could expedite the process and ensure that the aid or the SAP will be distributed to the intended beneficiaries.
Ms. Dumlao, you have Quezon City, Muntinlupa, Pasay, and San Juan behind schedule, only serving less than 15% of their poor families. And tomorrow is already the deadline. Will they be given an extension for the distribution of the cash?
To recall first, let's always go back to the intent and the purpose of Republic Act 11469. The social amelioration program should be given and distributed to the 18 million beneficiaries so that these families could sustain their daily requirements. It is the DSWD's position that we trust that the local government units will be able to complete the payout and deliver the SAP to their constituents with the interest and the welfare of their constituents in mind. For local government units who will not be able to complete the payout, they will have to submit their request to the Department of Interior and Local Government. And of course, they will have to explain why they could not complete the payout with the prescribed timeline provided them or given to them.
So it's up to the Department of Interior and Local Governments to decide if whether they will extend the cash distribution in these respective municipalities.
Yes, Sir Rico, we encourage the local government units to submit their request. Of course, they will have to justify why they are not able to complete or accomplish the distribution activities. But then again, we would like to reiterate that the DSWD trusts the local government units that they will be able to deliver the aid to their constituents.
All right, because we've been seeing a lot of videos and photographs of a lot of people waiting for their cash aid for many number of hours, some between 12 to 18 hours. So now let's move on to the second phase of this social amelioration program, Ms. Dumlao. Will it only be implemented when the first phase is completed, or could there be an overlap?
Rico, based on our existing guidelines, the basis of the DSWD in issuing or releasing the second tranche of the SAP would be dependent on the submission of the local government units of the liquidation report. Based on our guidelines, within 15 days after completion of the payout, the local government units should submit the report of disbursement together with the encoded names of the beneficiaries. And within 15 days after receipt of those documents, the DSWD will conduct a post-payout validation to ensure that those who have received the aid are indeed eligible, and to ensure likewise that there would be no duplicity. So after this process has been conducted, the DSWD will facilitate the release of the second tranche to the local government unit.
All right, let's hope that these municipalities that are behind schedule will be able to finish the distribution of the cash aid before the deadline tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word, DSWD Spokesperson Irene Dumlao. And coming up on The Final